Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online and welcome back also to sisi, the test server for EVE Online, where in today's video I want to take a first look at the Triglavian ships. So before we get started, of course, this is sisi, this is the test server. Everything here is definitely subject to change, but I have already discovered some pretty interesting things that I think are basically part of the design decisions that will be difficult to change when it comes to these ships. So first of all, the ships themselves have a skill, which so far is called, let me see here, Precursor Frigate, or Precursor Cruiser, and Battleship, of course, for the other two ships. I injected skills to get everything to 5. Next up, the weapon systems. Very interesting in my opinion as well. First of all, of course, have a skill as well called Precursor Weapons, but they also have Tech 2 variants, which means that there is an advanced skill, small disintegrator specialization, for instance, that will be trainable as well, of course. So very interesting on the weapon system front and on the weapon upgrade front, by the way, which... Let me take a quick look if that's the same skill. I don't have a weapon upgrade for this one because of the limits to the fittings here. But on the cruiser, I think I do. It's called the Entropic Radiation Sync 2. And it just takes weapon upgrades and a gunnery. Okay, gotcha. So that is something to know. Another thing that I did not expect, these weapons actually use charges. So if you press show info and then use width, you get Baryon, Meson and Tetrion charges. Obviously we'll start with the Tetrion charges because they have the range bonus of minus 30%, but more damage, I think. So 70, 76.5. And then if we take a look at this one, for instance, yeah, 62, 74.9. So very interesting. I thought maybe it's like a crystal, right? Because it's a lot like a laser. No, it's not. You do want a serious amount of charges in there because you use them quite quickly. So I just bought, oh, you can put 500 of them in a single weapon. They take a decent amount of room though. And that's pretty much it. So you've got skills, you've got Tech 2 weapons, you actually have weapon charges that need a decent amount as well. And the ships themselves, well, here so far the frigate does feel pretty limited when it comes to fitting. So I can't really put up even this most normal active tank, an afterburner and a web. And then I can't put one of those weapon upgrades in there. But all of that, again, is subject to change. So let's not worry too much about that specifically. I think they look great. And what are we going to do? Well, we're going to take them out a little bit. Try to see if we can find some rats to shoot. And just take a look at performance and stuff like that. So let's go to an asteroid belt. Last time I was here, there were a couple of rats. First, I was trying to fire at them with an empty disintegrator. So... oh, you need ammo for that. Then I only bought one of each, just because I thought it was like crystals. And then the charge was gone after the first shot, and I was like, god damn it. So that's how it's gonna work. So definitely something to keep in mind. Here are the rats, and I think it's gonna be a pretty good test. This is the frigate, the smallest Triglavian ship that we have, and let's see if it can actually break the tank on one of these Serpentis Commodores, one of these battleships. We'll start with the cruisers, of course. So let's go. I'd say an orbit at 5,000 is all right. The range with this is 10,000 fall off, optimal of 8,000. So maybe we should just take 7,500, and then pretty soon we are going to be able to web this guy. There we go, and then let's start firing. Let's take a look at that. All right. So not very pronounced. But, oh, and then look at that, the beam does cut off. Why? What the hell? It used 3 charges and then it cut off. Is it because I like bounced out of range or something like that? Let's get a bit closer at 5,000 meters. Put that one as our target, and now we'll start firing. So that's the shields going down. And now we just keep blasting away, and you do get a continual beam that does take charges to keep up. So that's a pretty important distinction here. Misses you completely, and my damage 149, 263, 125. Whoops, there we go, bouncing again off of something, probably an asteroid. But we are definitely breaking this cruiser without too much trouble. Alright, next one, let's put up that safe orbit at 5k. And then let's fire again. So this is, keep this in mind, this is the frigate, the Triglavian frigate, look at that. Very quickly chewing through those shields, the damage 203, 163. And so the description of the weapon, it should say that this goes up the more damage you're applying. Do we see any of that on like the fitting or something? 138, yeah, there you go, 143, 148. So you can see the DPS go up as we continue to fire on a single target. That is pretty cool. Definitely a new type of weapon system with possibly a counter if you can somehow whip them and then coast out of range. This has like a 10-kilometer range. Then that is pretty cool. So next up here, this battleship will actually try to get closer to our orbit this time. Like that. We haven't even been hit, so we are definitely pretty fast, maneuverable, and staying under the enemy guns. And then let's start firing here again. Let's see if we can... Oh, no, it's not wanting to fire. Interesting. Alright, orbit at 5k then. Optimal... Oh yeah, of course it's 8,121. So if I'm at 8,200 meters... it just stops working. And so finding that right orbit, right? The closer to your perfect orbit that you are, the more damage you're going to do, right? The closer you are to your optimal, but the closer that you are as well, the more risk there is that you'll make a mistake or that you'll give the opponent an opportunity to coast out of range. I think it's a very interesting weapon system. I love the continual beam. And now we are breaking the first layer of this battleship, which is going down the shields, of course. The effect on the shields, oh, there you go. That looks pretty cool, right? Just a continuous effect. And the shields have to try to cope with that. A little bit of regen coming in there. As my DPS goes up to 182, 187. I'm not sure what the maximum is. 197, all right, keep going. On armor, I mean, we're past this regen. So that's definitely through the battleship shield regen here, that's not bad. 197, that's where we're staying. 200 DPS on a frigate without a weapon upgrade. I'd say that that's not bad. There goes the armor. 92, 88. Are we going to break this guy? I think that we can. Yeah, definitely looks like we can do this. Although it will be pretty slow progress. And then just look at the damage there. Yeah, the continual beam. This looks really cool. Next test maybe. Let's see if we can overload. I want to overload the rack and then we go up to 223 DPS. And of course we are going to start to take some heat damage here. But that works as well, bringing your frigate into 223. I think that this is going to be a very interesting ship to fly in PvP. With yeah, potentially a very high... Whoa, what the hell, that looks like a miss, but it's actually a hit. There we go. But with great potential. And I want to stop overloading the rack, please. Whenever you want. There we go. Don't want to do too much damage to it. But with the shields now at 28, 22%, we are going to break that Serpentis Commodore. It's only a Beltrad, but it's still a battleship, and we are slowly breaking that in a frigate. So very cool. My very first impression here as well is that this will take a bit of effort. You'll want to either buy everything from the market if you don't want to do the effort, but you'll be able to run the Abyssal Dead Space pockets and try to find the skill book, find the materials needed for the production, find blueprint copies, then build your ship. And on top of that, I mean, it's not too visible here, but 4 low slots, 2 mid slots, that's not so bad for a frigate. And of course, you can then start to gamble, try to make an Abyssal armor rep with even better bonuses and things like that. Yeah, I think that it will have very strong replayability here, and it'll keep us busy for sure. And more skills to train, which is pretty cool. If you watch Eve talk, then you know that that we are really curious about the market always. And of course, I'm seeing a decent amount of demand for these ships, for the skill points as well, because, well, it's ships skills, 3 of them, up to a battleship, which takes a decent amount of time, and then 3 types of weapon skills with the specializations as well for a Tech 2. And in Warp, the disintegrator, the sphere actually like docks inside the ship. Very, very cool so far. Definitely quite nice, and this frigate performed quite nicely. Next up, we'll take the cruiser. We still have a little bit of time to take a look at that one. Hopefully we'll find some belt rats somewhere else. So let's take the Vedmak, if we can. There we go. Again, I'll do a quick look at the munition charges. And then I think Tetrion is close range, so that's what I want to focus on. So we'll do a few market details, and I'll once again, this time I'll buy maybe like 1500 of them. See how much room that takes inside the cruiser hull. If you want to keep going, Tetrion charges anywhere, there they are. So you can again put 500 of them, you get 1000 left, which, well, 200 cubic meters. This is not all that easy. This one has 1 entropic radiation sink, 237 DPS. I'm not sure how high it's going to go, but we will see. Let's undock, and again, I did put a web in there. This was my very first idea. Just hold the web so you can stay in optimal. It's not really needed for the cruiser. Optimal range of 14 kilometers. There's definitely better E-War stuff to use. So asteroid belt. Let's take a look at the first one. There we go. Look at that with the 3 spheres there, with the 3 disintegrators. Very cool. On top of that, the animation there. Man, this looks so unique. They're called Precursor Ships, and yeah, I feel like it's pretty damn cool. Oh my god, look at all of that. This is really, really cool and very good looking. So let's see if we can find a rat to shoot. And yeah, fitting wise, again, there's also the part where you don't really know exactly what to expect. Ooh, I would actually love to go after this with the battleship to see what the tracking is like. But alright, let's add these back to my overviews. For some reason they're not there. Then we're going to fly in between them, and then let's see, maybe we'll do an orbit of this one at like 10 kilometers and see if we can track these little frigates with the disintegrator. And what I'd also like to see what kind of DPS we're gonna get out of this. So maybe we'll just put this here for a bit. Ooh, Serpentis Safeguard coming in range, so we can whip this guy, then we can use the disintegrator on him. He's not going anywhere, and look at that. Is not hitting him, so the tracking, well, if we do hit him, he's just gone in a single shot. That might have something to do with the optimals as well, of course. We are taking a bit of shield damage. Let's see how we do against that battlecruiser to see if we can, look at that, 249, 261. I wish that there you could maybe see what the max DPS was. That would be interesting, although it will be very easy to test that on a player ship actually with strong resistance. But an easy 300 DPS right here, and it keeps going up. 308, still firing. 320, and the battlecruiser dies. Next up, of course, we have these annoying little frigates. Just got a straight up disintegration one-shot on that one. And this one, when he's this close, I think we're gonna miss. Oh, no, we actually just disintegrate that as well. That looks so good. That looks so good. That is very nice. Alright, dock back up. There is one final test, of course. That is going to be that battleship. It's basically the first time that I'm really seeing the battleship myself. We do have, I think it was a cruiser, right? On the Concord station. So we have seen this ship before. But now that we actually see it with the engines flaring and then in warp, I think we'll see that grid. Yeah. There you go. That grid forming again. Very, very cool. Love the design. I'm definitely a little bit of a glitchy light effect there, but absolutely love the design and definitely something that I'm going to work towards. I in fact think that this ship, the cruiser, is going to be my go-to ship to try and make more of them and use in tier 4s and tier 5s. I think it's basically made for that, considering how good a tank you can get up there, nice speed, and then the damage of it is pretty amazing. Although, I don't know, maybe a good missile drone boat can actually be a good option as well. Depends a little bit on the waves that you get. So, final Triglavian ship, the Alicia. There we go. That's a little bit bigger already. Oh, these now. Oh, that looks so good. Good God, that's nice. Look at that. We should definitely try to get some views as well from this without the UI when that's firing. Very cool. First of all, of course, again, we do need some ammo. I didn't think that was going to be needed, but we do. So let's press show info on that. Let's buy some Tetrion charges again. Put them in here. And again, for the fit, you know, don't worry too much about it. I just put something together with dual prop mod just in case I need to close the distance or something like that. But this is really not the way I'm going to fit these ships. But look at that, 2, 4, 6, 8 low slots, 4 utility high slots. So these ships also have this bonus here, reduced capacitor need for remote armor reps, energy neutralizers, and smart bombs, capacitor need, and increased range. So you could really make some very strong armor tanking and spider tanking setups with these, which I like quite a lot. So it's very, very cool. You can do a lot with these ships, and at the moment of recording here, not exactly sure when I'll upload the video, there is still a lot of talk about how this is going to be balanced exactly. So this is definitely work in progress, although I think that the slot layout and most of the general design philosophies will be in place. So let's go to another belt. Let's hope that there's a battleship in there. And here we go. This is the Alicia Triglavian battleship with a massive core at the center there. Look at that, that even has light effects on the inside. Looks very cool. As we go into warp, the disintegrators land. Oh my God, that looks good. Look at that, like a full protective cage in front of this core. Very, very cool. Or it's maybe like an energy tethering to improve something when it comes to going into warp. This looks really good to me. Range with short range ammo, 24 kilometers and 2 battleships, 2 frigates. Perfect test here. We're going to try to see if we can actually track these battleships. We'll try to get one at range. So an immediate targeting of these guys will be needed. We'll try to get one at range, 24 optimal, and then we'll allow one to actually orbit my ship and see if we can track it at like close range or how that works. So obviously the battleships come first. Go, go, go. That frigate at 29, at 25, that one would be perfect. That one, let's see if we can still hit it at 20. Zap! He's just straight up gone. He's just straight up gone. So that's pretty cool. Let's do an orbit at 20 or something like that. Activate the afterburner, put up some extra resistance. And did I really forget to put in a repper in this one? Yeah, apparently I did. So you can see that I was just really excited. I fitted something up very quickly. Let's see if we can take this battleship out before we actually get into trouble with the armor. But that's pretty cool here so far. So look at the shields go down and the DPS 800, 807. That's pretty respectable. 840. Just keep firing. Come on, wreck that Serpentis Flotilla Admiral. Half armor gone here. 900 DPS. That's a bit more efficient than the frigate, I must say. Although I'm still pretty impressed with what the frigate managed to do. This is really cool. Let's take out that first battleship here. All right, let's see if we can do something there as well. So that was already pretty damn cool. Let's see if we can micro drive towards this rear admiral that's actually firing at me from quite a long range, and is starting to work on my armor. So let's see if we can close the distance with the micro warp drive. Go, go, go. Speed up, speed up. Well, it is a battleship, so it is of course going to be a bit slower. I'm going to do the approach here, just so that we can get in range more quickly. And then I might actually try to do like a close range orbit on this guy, or do we just go orbit at 15, stay close to our optimal? I think we'll do that. And there we go. So now let's see if I can get a good look at the firing sphere here. As we bounce through the asteroid field, that trap has been laid. And then you can see now that the color, the intensity of that increases, of course, as you're doing more damage to the enemy ship. God damn it, stay on the same one. There it goes. So we started with like an orangey, and now it's heading more and more to a deep red. And at 940, 975 DPS, that battleship is also destroyed. The effect stays up until a little bit longer as well for the wreck to blow up. So very cool stuff. And then final test here, of course, we still have this little Serpentis protector that's going after my ship. Let's see if we can track this one. Probably not at this range. Misses you complete. So we keep missing, of course, with the large weapons at this range. Let's see if the web does anything. Oh, yeah, there you go. So this will... Oh, good God. This will actually track a webbed frigate rat with the large weapon type as well. Okay. Very, very impressed here. Really cool stuff. If you want to test this out yourself, definitely go take a look on sisi. But keep one thing in mind, of course. This is the test server. All of this is still subject to change. We really don't know how good, powerful, overpowered, you could say, these ships will be when they hit TQ. For now, thank you very much for watching, guys. And I'll see you all next time.
Warp drive active.